Hello everyone, it's been quite a while and it's time for a new video. In this session we'll be doing an exercise on the rotation matrix. Because on the video where we derive the rotation matrix, I've got a lot of people asking whether I can do an example or an exercise. And thus, here we are. In this exercise, we start out with a simple coordinate system x and y, which are perpendicular to one another. In this coordinate system, we have this square right here. Now, for this square, in this coordinate system, we know the coordinates of the four corners of this square. Let's say that this corner has coordinates 3, 1. This corner has coordinates 5, 3. This corner has the coordinates 3, 5. And then the last corner has the coordinates 1, 3. Each time being the first coordinate, the x component, and the second coordinate, the y component. So this is the current situation. Now let's say that we have an alternative coordinate system, an x prime, which we will draw like this, and a y prime, which we will draw just like this. Now you might notice that this coordinate system is just the original coordinate system xy, but rotated over an angle, theta being 45 degrees. And what we want to do now is to describe the same square, of which we know the coordinates in the x and y coordinate system, but describe them in the x prime and the y prime coordinate system. And to do this, we will use the rotation matrix, capital R. Now we derived the rotation matrix in detail in the other video. We know that it is the cosine of theta, the sine of theta, minus the sine of theta, and the cosine of theta. Now you might object that this is not exactly the rotation matrix that you are familiar with. The rotation matrix that you know has a minus sign over here and a plus sign over here. And you might be correct if it were the case that we would be rotating this square over an angle of 45 degrees. But that's not exactly what we're doing. In this case, we are rotating the x and y axis over an angle 45 degrees in the opposite direction, and thus over an angle of minus 45 degrees if you like. Now, because the sine functions are odd functions, we know that if we change the angle from theta to minus theta, that the minus sign can be brought outside of the sine, and thus this one becomes a plus and this one becomes a minus, exactly how we had it at the beginning. And that is why this rotation matrix will look slightly different to you. Just remember that this is because we are rotating our coordinate axis in the opposite direction. Now, of course, we know what the sine and the cosine of 45 degrees is. It is simple, the square root of 2 divided by 2 for both the sine and the cosine. Just don't forget the minus sign over here. And at this point, we already have our rotation matrix that we will use. Now, how will we use it? Well, the only coordinates that we have for this square are the coordinates of its corners, namely these ones, which are expressed in the x and y coordinate system. And that's exactly what we're asked to do. Just transform these coordinates such that they are expressed in the prime coordinate system as x prime and y prime. And that's exactly what this rotation matrix will do for us. Thus, for each set of coordinates, we will get the following: a new vector with the x prime and y prime coordinates. And we obtain this vector by multiplying our original coordinates with the rotation matrix. For the rotation matrix, we can put this square root of 2 over 2 factor outside, and what we're left with is simply 1, 1, import the minus 1, and 1. And this matrix we then multiply with the original coordinates, which is an x and a y component. So let's see what we get for our first point. Let's say that we take this 3, 1 as our first point. So the x component is a 3 and the y component is a 1. Copying this factor square root of 2 over 2, we can now start doing the multiplication, which should be quite easy. We have 1 multiplied by 3 plus 1 multiplied by 1. So basically just 3 plus 1, which becomes 4. For the second component, the y prime component, we have minus 1 times 3, which is minus 3, plus 1. So we get minus 3 plus 1 is minus 2. And these are the x prime and y prime coordinates. What we can do is divide them by 2 and bring this 2 outside. So we get 2 and minus 1, and this 2 in the denominator cancels out. And thus this first point of the square in the x prime and y prime coordinates comes out to be the following. It is 2 times the square root of 2 for the x prime component and minus the square root of 2 for the y prime coordinate. And let's see geometrically if this makes sense. In the original coordinate system, the x and y, we had 3 in the x direction and 1 in the y direction to get to our point. In the prime coordinate system, we thus have 2 times the square root of 2 in the x prime direction and minus the square root of 2 in the y prime direction. But we get to the same point. So let's now take our next point, which, let's say, will be this 5 and 3. So we have 5 in the x direction and 3 in the y direction. Doing the multiplication, we get 1 times 5 plus 1 times 3, which of course becomes 8. For the y prime component, we have minus 1 times 5 is minus 5 plus 3, which becomes minus 2. Again, bringing 1, 2 outside, we get the following. For the x prime, we have 4, and here we have 1. And thus, this corner of our square, which in the xy coordinate system was 5, 3, in the x prime and y prime coordinate system becomes the following. We have 4 times the square root of 2 for the x prime component and minus the square root of 2 in the y prime component. And again, this makes sense. Originally, we had 5 in the x direction and 3 in the y direction, and now we have 4 times the square root of 2 in the x prime direction, and again minus the square root of 2 in the y prime direction. Now we see that compared to the previous point, this point, where we had minus the square root of 2 in the y prime direction, here we also have minus the square root of 2 in the y prime direction. And this makes sense because the line connecting these 2 points is parallel to the x prime direction, and thus it has the same y prime components, which wasn't the case in the original coordinate system. Here we had a y component 1 and a y component of 3. The next point will be the upper point. This one will be 3 for the x component and 5 for the y component. In our rotated coordinate system, this becomes 1 times 3 plus 1 times 5, which is simply 3 plus 5, which is 8. For the y prime component, we have minus 3 plus 5, which of course simply becomes 2. Again, we can bring out 1, 2 outside of this vector, so we get 4 and 1, and this 2 drops. So this point becomes, in the primed coordinate system, the rotated coordinate system, 4 times the square root of 2 and plus the square root of 2. And again, this can be checked quite easily by doing a visual inspection. Comparing these 2 points, we have the same x prime component. This makes sense because the line connecting these 2 points is perpendicular to the x prime axis, and thus they should have the same x prime component. Now you probably get the idea, so let's finish with the last point. Removing these points. So we have for the x component 1 and for the y component we have 3. For the x prime component we have 1 times 1 plus 1 times 3, which is simply 4. For the y prime component we have negative 1 times 1 plus 3, and this becomes simply plus 2. Again, bringing a 2 outside of this vector, we're left with 2 and 1, and cancelling this 2 in the denominator. So this point in the prime coordinate system becomes 2 times the square root of 2 and the square root of 2. And again, doing a visual check, we see that comparing with this point, they have indeed the same x prime component, since these points, compared to the prime coordinate axis, are perpendicular to the x prime axis. So let's recap what we did. We started out with the x and y coordinate axis. In this coordinate system, we had this simple square, for which we know the components of each of the corners in the x, y coordinate system. Then we introduced this alternative coordinate system, x prime and y prime, which was rotated from the original coordinate system by an angle of 45 degrees. And what we wanted to do is to describe this square in the orange coordinate rotated system. To do this, we use the rotation matrix, but with, of course, this minus sign because we're rotating over an angle minus 45 degrees compared to the conventional angle. Then we use this rotation matrix by finding the new components of each point by multiplying the rotation matrix by the old coordinates and getting our result. And that gave us the coordinates for each of these corners in the new coordinate system. And this is only one of the applications of the rotation matrix. If you have any questions, let them know in the comments down below and I will be sure to answer them. And as always, thanks for watching.